All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're looking at a pretty disturbing dossier. It details something it calls the Scapegoat Protocol, a kind of hidden, energetic technology that it claims the powerful use to completely sidestep the consequences of their own actions. So let's open this file up. I mean, it's a question we've all asked, right? How do people who cause unbelievable harm, we're talking wars, massive fraud, global deception, how do they just walk away? You know? Where's the cosmic justice, that karmic boomerang that's supposed to come back around? Well, the dossier we're digging into gives a chillingly technical answer. It argues that it's not about having better lawyers or a slick PR team. Nope, it's something way, way deeper. It's basically a form of spiritual money laundering. A very deliberate, ritualistic process designed to literally offload their karmic debt onto someone or something else. Okay, so to really get how this alleged solution works, we first have to understand the problem from this dossier's point of view. And it all starts with a kind of debt that no amount of money can ever pay off. This document doesn't talk about karma like some vague spiritual concept. It frames it as a hard rule of energetic physics. See, harmful actions are said to create these chaotic, low-frequency waves, an energetic debt. The source claims this debt is like a poison. If it just keeps building up, it will eventually cause the energy field of the person who created it to just collapse. So for those playing on a global stage, creating massive harm, the motive becomes crystal clear. You have to find a way to get rid of it. So what's the supposed fix for this existential problem? The source says it's not some new invention. It's an ancient and really disturbing piece of technology. And the dossier is really specific on this point. This is not just about blaming someone else. It's laid out as a technical procedure. The scapegoat is a living vessel, an energetic container, chosen specifically to absorb the karmic poison from someone else. It's basically an attempt to hack the universe's own accounting system. As it's laid out here, the process has three main parts. First, you've got the operator, the one who is directing this transfer with their will. Second, you need a vessel, an innocent life form whose clean energy field is kind of like a blank hard drive. And third, you have the ritual itself, the act that makes the transfer happen, that moves the energetic poison from the operator to the vessel. Now, according to this dossier, not all debts are created equal, and because of that, not all vessels will do the job. The source lays out this really disturbing hierarchy where the size of the crime determines the kind of sacrifice that's needed. You can see how it escalates. For small personal stuff, a simple life form, maybe a chicken, is enough. For mid-level debt, say for a whole community, you need something more complex, like the goat from the book of Leviticus. But for that generational, high-level debt, the kind that comes from global-scale harm, well, the dossier claims that protocol demands the ultimate vessel. And to try and ground this in our world, the source points to modern examples. It cites a deleted tweet, supposedly from Lady Gaga, and says, look, this wasn't a joke. This was what it calls a casual, almost arrogant admission of doing these exact kinds of low-level energy-clearing rituals. And this is where we get to the top of the pyramid. The dossier makes its most disturbing claim right here, that a human child is seen as the ultimate vessel. And the alleged reasoning is twofold. First, a child's energy field is the purest, most coherent life force there is. And second, the ritualized terror inflicted on them generates a powerful energetic byproduct, a substance the source gives a name, Ambrosia. This brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most explosive claim in the entire dossier, that this ancient protocol wasn't just practiced in secret. It was industrialized. It was scaled up for the modern world. The source presents its case against the Jeffrey Epstein network with this chilling statement. It argues that if you see his private island as just a playground for the rich and powerful, you are missing the entire point. According to this analysis, it was an industrial facility, and it was producing a very specific product. So the dossier claims the network had two jobs. The one on the surface, the secondary function, was blackmail, a leash to control the most powerful people in the world. But the primary function, it alleges, was metaphysical, the systematic harvesting of that energetic byproduct we just talked about, what it calls Ambrosia Loosh. So what is this ambrosia? It's defined as the rarest, most valuable delicacy in a grim metaphysical economy. It's described as the specific energetic frequency that's produced by the ultimate trauma, the shattering of innocence. In this framework, the abuse wasn't just the crime, it was the manufacturing process.
And finally, the dossier argues this protocol hasn't just been industrialized, it's also been virtualized. It's been turned into a tool for mass psychological warfare, and it's being performed out in the open every single day.
I mean, look at this comparison. The source draws a straight line from the ancient ritual to the modern media cycle. The operator isn't a high priest anymore, it's corporate media. The vessel isn't an animal, it's a public figure they decide to target. And the ritual destruction is no longer physical, it's a virtual stoning, a cancellation that happens on all our screens.
According to the dossier, the mechanics are identical to the old ritual. A target is picked out, all of our collective fears, our anxieties, our own sins, they all get projected onto that one person. And then the public is invited, even encouraged to join in on their destruction. This process generates a massive harvest of low-frequency emotional energy, rage, division, hatred, which is the very loosh this system supposedly feeds on.
So, the dossier we've just walked through presents a really chilling framework. It describes a technology of spiritual liability transfer, scaled up from ancient rituals to modern industry, and now to mass media. And it leaves us with one final, unsettling question. If this protocol is real, who's being positioned on the altar today?